Hi everyone, welcome to Veronika Hug. Today I want to show you how you can do a winter hat for a ponytail. So you may notice in the video itself that I also explained some steps on how to do a poncho. So this is another project, so feel free to just ignore that and focus on the hat this time. So yeah, you're gonna need the wool Hagenbarth yarn for today. This is Indian Summer, it's 100 grams and it's 60% wool and 40% acrylic, and it's 50 meters long per each ball of 100 grams. So the crocheting hook size is 8 millimeters, that's what I'm using today. So let's start with 48 loose chains. For the poncho you would do 112. Make sure that they're loose because that's going to be important later. $30. And 48. So now we're going to close this into a round. Just make sure that you don't have any twists going on anywhere. We don't want those. And now into the first chain we go in and we're going to do a slip stitch. Then we're going to do an extra chain to start the next row. Then we're going to move this a little bit toward us so that we get this back side here, and into the side piece of each chain we're going to do a single. And we're going to do this first round with just singles so that we have a nice shape and so that everything looks good. We're going to get a lovely edge this way. And this is why I said that your chains should be loose so that you can easily find and go through this side section of each chain. So I'm going to finish off this row and then I'll be back to show you the rest. And I'm at the end of my first row. So here I am, and I'm going to do the base stitch from here on. So we're going to do the stretch stitch here, and the stretch stitch is gonna need the thread to be in the front. Then we're gonna do just the back section of the chain that we see, the stitch that we see on here, and we're gonna do a single there. So let's do that again. The yarn goes in front of the hook, then we go into the back section of the stitch and we do a single there. Just in the back section, take your yarn with you and do a single. So when I put the yarn in front, I hold it with my thumb here and that way it's not going places where I don't want it to go. And we're going to keep working like this in spirals. So you may notice that I didn't close up the first row. This is because I want to work in spirals today instead of rounds or rows. So we're doing spirals today. And you just keep going around and around. So I am now 16 centimeters into my length, and now we're going to start with the reductions. So I used a little marker here to know where I started with the reductions. And if you're doing a poncho, you can do the reductions wherever you want, or depending on the length of the poncho that you would like to have. So now what I'm going to do is do every 5th and 6th stitch as one. So the first 4 we're going to do just as always, and then the 5th I'm going to do as follows. So I'm going to start the stitch off as I usually would, and I'm going to have 2 loops on my hook, but I'm not going to close it off yet. And then I'm going to start with the next stitch already, and then I'm going to repeat the same thing, and I'm going to have 3 loops on my hook, and then I'm going to go and connect them with my thread, just going through. And then I'm going to again do 4 stitches, but here, yeah, this is right. And now we're going to do 4 regular ones, and then the 5th and the 6th we're again going to reduce into 1. And I'm going to do this slowly so that you can follow. So the first one and the second one, and close off. And that's it. And then we keep repeating until we get back to our pink marker. Four, and now the reduction. So you see, this is pretty simple to do, 4 regular ones and then 5 and 6 always together. And you just keep counting like that, as I said, until we get to our marker. Four and 5 and 6 together. And we're going to do that a couple more times. We're almost at our mark. So this was 8 reductions total for the number of stitches that I had. Now I'm going to do a row without any additions or reductions, reductions. So we're just going to do, in my case, 40 stretch stitches as always. So after this round without reductions, we're again doing reductions. So now we're doing 3 regular stretch stitches, and then we're doing every 4th and 5th together. So 3 regular ones and number 4 and 5 together. And again, it's the same thing, just a little bit different counting this time, and we're just going to keep working like this until we get back to our marker. So 3 together, or 3 separately, and 4 and 5 together. There we go, together, and then again 3, and then 2 together. So you see how I'm holding the yarn that's in the front of my hook with my thumb, that way it stays where I want it to as I work. Three, and then 4 and 5 together. Two and 3, and the last time we're doing reductions in this section of the spiral, since we're not doing rounds, and we're back at our mark again. And now we're going to do 2 rows without reductions. So I'm back 2 rows without reductions later, and now I'm going to show you how we're going to do our relief stitch from the front. So this is also something you would do with the poncho, so I wanted to show you here on a smaller scale how you can do it as well. So we're going to take a yarn over around our hook. That's going to be our first step. And then we're going to do a treble from the front. So I'm going to show you how. So we're going into the entire stitch, but sideways like this. And then we take our thread with us and we close up just like we would a regular treble, 2 by 2. I'll repeat so that we can do the back one as well. So we're doing 1 from the front, 1 from the back. So we're going into the stitch from the back, and then through the next one, take your thread with you and close up 2 and then 2 again. And then we do it again from the front. And then again from the back. And you keep changing front and back and front and back. And these are called relief trebles. And we're going to do the entire section, or the entire so-called round, this way until we get back to our marked section. So since we have a lot of room here between the stitches, we're going to pull a piece of thread, or you can even do rope or anything else you would like through that, so that we can later tighten it when we're wearing it with our ponytail. and again from the front, and then again from the back. And you see the lovely colors that we get with this yarn. Almost done. So we're going to have 32 stitches in this round, so to speak. So we started with 48. And yeah, this way, if you're working in spirals, you're not going to have any place where you can tell that the row stopped and started again. So this is why I prefer doing some projects in spirals. It just looks nicer from every angle and every side. And one more from the front and one more from the back, and then we're done. And this relief treble from the back, I'm gonna do a little bit deeper than what I did so far, but I'm doing it the same way. And from this point on, we're doing one last round, and we're working the stretch stitches, so the base stitch that we did. Sometimes I call the stretch stitch also a left single because we're starting it from the left side, but you can call it whatever you want. It's a pretty easy stitch. And you can do this with a poncho as well and with a winter hat, so it's a really great thing to know and practice. So I'm at the end here. I did just 3 rounds here just because I didn't have enough yarn, and I think this is gonna work just fine this way as well. So you see here that I have this one stitch on my hook, and this is where I'm at right now. So we're gonna do one regular single, so without the yarn in the front, just a regular single, and then we're gonna do a slip stitch after that. And then when we do that, we're just gonna pull the thread through and we are done. So you see here we have a nice straight edge. And now here I have the rope that I made myself, so I just braided the exact same yarn because I wanted to have the same color and have it match, but you can even do a contrast color if you like, so this is completely up to you and your taste. And I'm just pulling this through my relief trebles, and you see how easy this is. So this is exactly why we did that one row this way. Almost done. There we go. So now we can pull this tight, or we can keep it this way depending on how thick your ponytail is, and you can do a little bow or tie a knot or whatever you prefer. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to shoot a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you did, and I'll see you in one of my next projects. So thank you for watching Veronika Hug. See you next time and have a wonderful day. Bye!